Shit, it's bright as hell, and I'm outside. This is my first video outside, and I won't lie to you, I was a little nervous about recording this one. Not because I'm outside, but just because of the nature of the message. This video will all be about power, and I want to explain to you guys that power is inherent. We all have power within us naturally, and we have power to control our emotions, to control our reactions and actions, and our decisions. And there are multiple ways that we can actively give away this power. For starters, if we relinquish our ability to choose, we're completely giving away our power. I'll start with a real life example from myself. So basically, there is a situation where I have not heard back from a job prospect, and I was really frustrated. I felt really emotional and angry. However, despite that, I had to proceed regardless. I still had to continue to try to find other opportunities, although, there were expectations of me succeeding in this opportunity. I had to actively keep working. Just because I'm waiting for this job doesn't mean I have to be passive, just view my own life pass me by. I needed to still act. So, I was still networking, still trying to find new opportunities, and just being active and just being a go getter despite the bad things that may happen to you. Because I was pissed. I was really pissed. Ask anyone. I was really pissed, particularly like this week on how this was going. And I decided to act regardless of my feelings. And that is my power. It's okay. I was angry for a little bit, but you start to realize that being angry isn't going to get you to your goals. You have the power to act and you have the power to choose. Another thing, I'm just going to share a story from this book. I've referenced it before. 13 things that mentally strong people don't do. The chapter was blaming others. So I'll paint the picture for you. There was a woman, and she did not get along well with her mother in law. Basically, her mother in law would come over and undermine her parenting, and she would kind of like be rude to her, and she would tell the kids stuff like, "Hey, if you were my kids, I'd give you sweet treats." She would show up every day unannounced. She would allow the children to watch TV when the mom set strict guidelines on their media consumption, and as a result, the mom was pissed and she grew to resent her mother-in-law. From this, her life slowly warped and began to revolve itself around her mother-in-law. With her girlfriends, she always just talked about her mother-in-law. Her relationship with her husband and her children were also strained by this. And they were strained because she was afraid that the mother in law would stress her out and stress out their relationship. Yet, by just giving it so much power, by just talking about it, and not taking action, the mother in law began to rule her life. And it's not about, oh, just anger management, because the lady tried to go to therapy for anger management towards her mother, but that wasn't the solution either. The solution was to actively set healthy boundaries and to actively address the situation together with her husband. And yeah, the stepmother was pouting. She wasn't happy about it, but she came to understand that if she wanted to be around these children, she needed to accept the rules of this household or she was going to no longer be welcome. And through that calculated action, she retained her power, and she also made an active effort to no longer rant about her stepmother or this or that. And another thing that kind of relinquishes your power is ranting. It's okay to communicate when you need to say that you're stressed, but if you're just always ranting, like about this girl drama or like how unfair your family treated you when you grew up, you're just ranting, you're just ranting, you're just ranting. You are basically communicating that those things have the ability to control your emotions. Like, oh, like she never texts me back, she never texts me back, or she's always doing this and it makes me so angry. She is not making you angry. She is just simply doing an action and you are interpreting it as you are. You are interpreting the action as you will. However, it's up to you to choose how you'll react to a given situation. And that is your power. And it's not to say, oh, never be upset, never feel emotional, because I get upset. Like I just mentioned earlier in this video, I got really upset yesterday. And I felt my feelings. I wrote them all down. And then I realized I have no right to be upset at this. This is just a circumstance. This is a neutral situation that has nothing to do with my competency, this or that. Because also from this book, the opinion of one person, institution, whatever, does not enumerate you. It doesn't define you. You know, there are so many people in the world. If one person, company, whatever rejects you, that does not mean that everyone else will reject you. You know, given a survey about you to 100 people, what are the chances that 100 out of 100 are going to say that you are not the one, that they're going to pass up on you? The chances are zero. You know, if you have a boyfriend and they break up with you because you're not good enough, that doesn't mean that you're not good enough in general. Perhaps you were just not good enough for that person, for whatever standards or metrics that they were measuring on. So the opinion of one does not define you. And you can always choose how you accept feedback and criticism. It's important to be coachable, it's important to be receptive of feedback. However, there are certain compromises that you cannot make. If you're an extremely extroverted person and it's one of your strong suits and it's what has gotten you to certain places in life and you're receiving criticism about it, it's completely acceptable to kind of just like respectfully disagree with the individual in administering the criticism. So, I hope I communicated this effectively. These were the ways to retain your power and to not give it up. It's in your hands.